said everything should be all set. Then I get a letter saying, well, you don't meet the occupancy requirements from the town, and I'm like, I've been in this state my whole life.
What are the occupancy requirements you said you didn't meet in the letter?
They told me you had to own the property for 10 years.
So that's a senior exemption, it's a different exemption.
Okay, so I have no idea, and I have no idea on how to pursue this. You know, so I'm asking for your help.
You need to speak with the assessor, is what you need to do, because again, we don't make the decisions on that. He'll put you in touch with her or get you the right people to talk to, but we don't set the taxes as far as collecting them and assessing you. The assessor does that.
Okay.
And you know, she provides the exemption. If you qualify for the senior exemption, you know, you get it. I don't know what the disability exemption is or not, but again, whatever the qualifications are, she should send you, or you should know if you're approved or not. So again, I think we need to.
I can make the connection tomorrow. I have your number on your thing, and I can call you tomorrow, and I can get you with the right person, and then you're with her.
Okay,
Sound
now
fair?
that's the tax assessor, right?
Yes.
The assessor.
I talked to her a couple of times. She's not a very friendly person, but
They might just need some clarification. I'd be more than happy to help you with that.
thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's on that paper.
What was it on there? Oh, thank you.
I think we have an email too.
Okay. Open forum. Okay, public hearings, license renewals, Victoring license renewals. Discussion or action. A, JM Pizza, 1195 Putnam Pike. B, Asato's Kitchen and Bar, 102 Putnam Pike. C, Burrville Gloucester Youth Soccer Association, 1407 Putnam Pike, concession stand. D, Katie's Tavern, 2168 Putnam Pike. E, Chepachet Deli and Catering, 842 Putnam Pike. F, Chepachet Farms, 226 Torlot Hill Road. G, D. Petrillo's Pizza and Bakery, 1153 Putnam Pike. Dino's. H, Park and Shop, 1020 Putnam Pike. I, Dunkin' Donuts, 1006 Putnam Pike. J, Gentleman Farmer Restaurants, 617 Putnam Pike. K, Gloucester Little League, 1011 Putnam Pike, concession stand. L, Harmony Corner Store, 365 Snake Hill Road. M, Hills Tavern and Grill, 417 Putnam Pike. N, Mr. Z's by the Lake, 2400 Putnam Pike. O, Night Farm, Farmer's Omelet, 1 Snake Hill Road. P, Melody Hill Country Club, 55 Melody Hill Lane. Q, Pinewood Pub and Pizza, 16 Terry Lane. R, Tavern on Main, 1157 Putnam Pike. S, The Village Bean, 15 Money Hill Road. T, Who Cut the Cheesecake, LLC, 1195 Putnam Pike. Public hearing was advertised in the Valley Breeze Observer on October 22nd, October 31st, and November 7th, 2024. Declare the public hearing open. Any wishing to speak or be heard in the renewal process of any application, please step to the microphone. State your name for the record when you call on. Anybody looking to speak? Okay. Guess I'll clear the public hearing closed. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant the renewal of a victualling license to all applicants named above, contingent upon 1, payment of all town taxes, 2, building and zoning approval as needed, 3, fire and/or police approval as needed, 4, current health department approval, 5, current food manager certificate, and 6, Rhode Island permit to make sales. These licenses shall be for the interior of the premises only and are valid from December 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 2025.
Hey, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. 2, liquor license renewals, discussion or action, Class A retailer, discussion and interaction. 1, Christie's Liquors, Inc., Kevin J. Kitson, DBH, Patchett Village Wine and Spirits, 1116 Putnam Pike. 2, Kitson Liquors, Inc., Lisa Kitson, DBA Kitson Liquors, 677 Putnam Pike. Public hearing was advertised in the Providence Journal Legal Ads on October 24th and October 31st, 2024. Declare the public hearing open. Anybody wishing to speak on these licenses? Okay, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Can I get a motion?
Motion to grant the renewal of a Class A retailer liquor license, 1, Christie Liquors, Inc., Kevin J. Kitson, DBH, Patchett Village Wine and Spirits, 1116 Putnam Pike. 2 Kitchen Liquors Inc., Lisa Kitchen, DBA Kitchen's Liquors, 677 Putnam Pike, contingent upon 1 payment of all town taxes, 2 building and zoning approval as needed, 3 fire and/or police approval as needed, 4 current Rhode Island certificate of good standing, 5 current alcohol service certification for all employees, 6 current Rhode Island permit to make sales, 7 per RIGL a certificate of commercial general liability and property damage insurance for a minimum amount of $300,000. These licenses shall be for the interior of the premises only and are valid from December 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 2025.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. B, Class BV, victualler beverage license, discussion or action. Asados Inc., George Diago, Ryan Diago, DBA Asados Kitchen Bar, 102 Putnam Pike. 2, Tri-State Golf LLC, Jonathan Honig, Donald Honig, DBA Melody Hill Country Club, 55 Melody Hill Road. 3, Agios Inc., and that is Panagoda?
Panagiota.
Thank you for the accent. Yes, thank you. DBA Gentleman Farmer Restaurant, 617 Putnam Pike. 4 Prickly Pear, William Kapanakis, DBA Pinewood Pub and Pizza, 16 Terry Lane, Units 9 through 13. 5 Tayo Restano Corp., Stephen and Robin Tayo and Robert Restanio, DBA Katie's Tavern, 2168 Putnam Pike. 6 Hills Tavern and Grill, LLC, Albert L. Hill Senior, DBA Hills Tavern and Grill, 417 Putnam Pike. And Ron G. LLC, Ballwinder Sin, DBA Mr. Z's by the Lake, 2400 Putnam Pike. Public hearing was advertised in the Providence Journal. Legal ads on October 24th and October 31st, 2024. I declare the public hearing open. Anybody wishing to speak for or against the renewal of these licenses, please come forward, state your name when called upon. Call that closed. I get a motion.
Make a motion to grant the renewal of a Class BV victualler beverage license to all applicants named above, contingent upon 1, the issuance of a valid victualling license, 2, payment of all town taxes, 3, building and zoning approval as needed, 4, fire and/or police approval as needed, 5, current Rhode Island certificate of good standing, 6, Rhode Island permit to make sales, 7, current alcohol service certification for all employees, 8, a copy of the current menu, 9, per RIGL, a certificate of commercial general liability and property damage insurance for a minimum amount of $300,000. These licenses shall be for the interior of the premise only, with the exception of Asados Inc., George Diogo, and Ryan Diogo, DBA Asados Kitchen Bar, 102 Putnam Pike. D, Prickly Pear Inc., William J. Kanapikis, DBA Pinewood Pub and Pizza, 16 Terry Lane, Units 9 through 13. E, Tayo Restano Corp., Stephen and Robin Tayo and Robert Restano, DBA Katie's Tavern, 2168 Putnam Pike. F, Hills Tavern and Grill, LLC, Albert L. Hill Senior, DBA Hills and Tavern and Grill, 417 Putnam Pike. Stipulations of any outdoor consumption, service, and/or sales remain as previously granted. These licenses are valid from December 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 2025.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. C, Class BT Tavern, discussion interaction. 1, Drum LLC, David Lumna, DBA Tavern on Main, 1157 Putnam Pike. Public hearing was advertised in the Providence Journal Legal Ads on October 24th and October 31st, 2024. I declare the public hearing open. Anybody wish to speak on this license? All right, I'll declare the meeting closed. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to grant the renewal of a Class BT Tavern license to DLUM LLC, David Lumna, DBA Tavern on Main, 1157 Putnam Pike, contingent upon 1, the issuance of a valid victualling license, 2, payment of all town taxes, 3, building and zoning approval as needed, 4, fire and/or police approval as needed, 5, current Rhode Island certificate of good standing, 6, current Rhode Island permit to make sales, 7, current alcohol service certification cards for all employees, 8, copy of current menu, 9, per RIGL, a certificate of commercial general liability and property damage insurance for a minimum of $300,000. This license shall be for the interior of the premise only and is valid from December 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 2025.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. D, Class BV Limited, discussion or action. M&B Variety Inc., Brian Rea, Michelle Rea, DBA Harmony Corner Store, 365 Snake Hill Road. Public hearing was advertised in the Providence Journal Legal Ads on October 24th and October 31st, 2024. I declare the public hearing open. Does anybody wish to speak regarding this license renewal? Declare the public hearing closed. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to grant the renewal of a Class BV limited license to M&B Variety Inc., Brian Rea, Michelle Rea, DBA Harmony Corner Store, 365 Snake Hill Road, contingent upon 1, the issuance of a valid victualling license, 2, payment of all town taxes, 3, building and zoning approval as needed, 4, fire and/or police approval as needed, 5, current Rhode Island certificate of good standing, 6, current Rhode Island permit to make sales, 7, current alcohol service certification cards for all employees, 8, copy of current menu, 9, per RIGL, a certificate of commercial general liability and property damage insurance for a minimum of $300,000, 10, current Rhode Island BCI check. This license shall be for the interior of the premise only and is valid from December 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 2025.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 3, entertainment license renewals, discussion or action. Asados Inc., DBA Asados Kitchen and Bar, 102 Putnam Pike. B, Prickly Pear Inc., DBA Pinewood Pub and Pizza, 16 Terry Lane, units 9 through 13. C, Tayo Rastani Group, DBA Katie's Tavern, 2168 Putnam Pike. D, Hills Tavern and Grill, LLC, DBA Hills Tavern and Grill, 417 Putnam Pike. And Rajni LLC, DBA Mr. Z's by the Lake, 2400 Putnam Pike. Public hearing was advertised in the Valley Breeze Observer on October 31st, 2024. Declare the public meeting open. Anybody wish to speak regarding these license renewals? Okay. Declare that closed. Can I get a motion?
Motion to grant the renewal of an entertainment license to all applicants named above, contingent upon 1, payment of all town taxes, 2, building and zoning approval as needed, 3, fire and/or police approval as needed. These licenses are valid from December 1, 2024 to December 30, 2025, and are subject to the following,
November 30th.
November 30th, 2025, and are subject to the following stipulations. That all entertainment be confined to the inside of the building except for those establishments in stipulation number 5. That all windows on the premises are kept closed but not permanently where there is amplified entertainment, and that doors are only open for normal ingress and egress from the premises. 3, that all live indoor entertainment cease at 1 a.m. 4, when there is live entertainment, the town council, at its discretion, may assign a supplemental police officer or officers at such time and in such a place as the town council deems appropriate, and the license holder shall reimburse the town of Gloucester for the expense of such police officer or officers. 5, establishments with current outdoor service areas for alcohol may have non-amplified acoustical music and non-amplified vocals ceasing at 9 p.m. This use shall be rescinded upon determination by the licensing board with no further public hearing. Any other reasonable conditions and restrictions as the town council may require.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Special event licenses, request for 2025 outdoor special events, discussion or action. Robin Tayo Bristani Group, DBA Katie's Tavern, location 2168 Putnam Pike, Gloucester, Rhode Island. Request for 2025 outdoor special events. Public hearing was advertised in Valley Breeze Observer on October 31st, 2024. Declare the public meeting open. The applicant is requesting for 12 motorcycle runs, 10 fundraisers, 8 car bike shows with no amplification, 12 outside acoustic amplified vocals and guitar, 1 fundraiser for Lake Washington Association with outside band. Total 43 events. Applicant is requesting April, November for certain events, and May to October for other types of events from the beginning of this use. 2017, we're chosen to allow these from May to October.
So my point being only was that we've always just done them from May to October, but now I notice the applicants are all asking for different months, so I think council has to decide if that's what you're gonna do. If you're gonna, it doesn't lay it out in the ordinance when the months are, you've just done that from the start of the ordinance, you've done May to October.
They want April to November.
Yeah, some have mentioned April, so they wanna start earlier and go later. That's up to you.
They're requesting less than last year too, though. I don't see an issue with that.
I think the onus here, maybe they could clarify which events they're looking at for the different months, just so we can
Right, because
make a better
I'd say
decision.
the car shows probably run a little bit later in the
Yeah.
season.
I'm Robin Tayo. Yeah, with the, it was usually like either, the outside service was May 1st to November, well, through the month of October. But with the weather's, getting better and stuff like that, there are people wishing to get out earlier for a bike run, fundraisers in the month of April. I actually had someone request a bike show in November, because the weather's been fantastic. So it's one of those things that, if there is no consistency there, depends on the weather. I also put in for a outside band request, but that would be for the Lake Washington Association. They had a meeting last month, but the woman in charge of the fundraisers wasn't there. So what I'd like to do is put a stipend, a contingency, not a contingency, but a condition on when I request that permit, if it's approved, it would be followed with a letter from the Lake Washington Association requesting it. What I'm trying to do is save them some money if they so choose to have one.
That would be only for them.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, we saw that in the,
Thanks, Rob.
yeah, thank you.
I don't have a huge issue extending the bookends of when these events can be used. It looks like, with the exception of a potential fundraiser for a neighborhood group where you're in, you're requesting what you were granted last year. That's if my math's correct here tonight. So
Actually 14 less than they requested 14 less than they were.
right, but what was granted, what was given last year is identical to what was requested this year.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I personally, I got home from Florida 2 weeks ago and the weather wasn't any different when I arrived back in beautiful Rhodey. So I understand why you would do that. I also understand when you have outdoor events and it rains for 2 straight months in the spring, that doesn't help either. So my 2 cents.
I'm in agreement.
Does anybody have any response from the crowd? Okay.
I'm inclined to grant them, so.
Will.
Close
Close
the-
You good? I'm gonna close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to grant the special events for 2025 for Katie's Tavern, location of business 2168 Putnam Pike. 12 motorcycle runs, 10 fundraisers, 8 car shows, car/bike shows, 12 outside acoustic amplified vocals and guitar, and 1 fundraiser for Lake Washington with the outside band, for a total of 43 events. Individually licensed between the months of April and November with the following stipulations. 1, the filing of an application 6 business days prior to each event. 2, crowd management and parking plan filed with each application. 3, no on-street parking allowed on Route 44. 4, the approval of the chief of police and the fire chief. 5, this approval may be rescinded by the town for a just cause. 6, alcohol is allowed in previously approved areas, only allowed in previously approved areas. 7, compliance with the special event ordinance. 8, outdoor amplified music is allowed 2 times per month from April to November for a total of not to exceed 12 of the granted events on non-consecutive weekends and non-consecutive days, limited between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. 9, any use outside that consists of amplification of music or entertainment shall be considered a special event requiring a license and shall count against the total number of events granted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I recuse. All right, 2, Albert Hill, Senior Hills Tavern and Grill, LLC, DBA Hills Tavern and Grill, location 417 Putnam Pike, Gloucester, Rhode Island, request for 2025 outdoor special events. Public hearing was advertised in the Valley Breeze Observer on October 31st, 2024. Declare the public hearing open. Applicants requesting 6 motorcycle runs, 6 fundraisers, 8 car shows, 12 outside music events for a total of 32. Last year's request was 46, 32 were granted, and in 2024, the clerk issued 13 licenses. Anybody wishing to speak? All right, I'll call that closed.
Again, this applicant asked for the identical amount of special events that it was granted last year. And,
I have no issue with it.
Good
and
standing.
yeah,
No complaints.
None.
All right, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant the special events for 2025 for Hills Tavern, location of business 417 Putnam Pike. 6 motorcycle runs, 6 fundraisers, 8 car shows, and 12 outdoor music events for a total of 32 special events individually licensed, allowed with the following stipulations. 1, the filing of an application 6 business days prior to each event. 2, crowd management and parking plan filed with each application. 3, no on-street parking allowed on Route 44. 4, the approval of the chief of police and the fire chief. 5, this approval may be rescinded by the town council for just cause. 6, alcohol is only allowed in previously approved areas. 7, compliance with the special event ordinance. 8, outdoor amplified music is allowed 2 times per month from April to November for a total not to exceed 12 of the granted events on non-consecutive weekends and non-consecutive days, limited between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. 9, any use outside that consists of amplification of music or entertainment shall be considered a special event requiring a license and shall count against the total number granted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. B, 3, David Wright, DBA Mulberry Vineyards, location 95 Pound Road, Gloucester, Rhode Island. Request for 2025 outdoor special events. Public hearing was advertised in the Valley Breeze Observer on October 31st, 2024. I declare the public hearing open. The applicant is requesting 8 farmers markets, 5 festivals, 14 live music events Saturday or Sunday, 1 to 4 p.m. to 6 to 10 p.m. 8 weddings, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday between 9 a.m. and 10 p.m., limited to 1 per week. Last year's request, total of 35 events. Last year's request was for 37 events, 19 were granted, and in 2024, the clerk issued 11 licenses. Anyone wishing to speak or step up to the microphone, state your name when you're called upon.
Good evening, members of the council. My name is Tim Robenheimer, and I am an attorney here representing Hill Farm Vineyard LLC, doing business as Mulberry Vineyard. This is David Wright, as you probably all aware. Right is home taking care of the kids, so David's here, represent the farm. So, as the president just read, the application was submitted. There are 35 events that are requested. They're all outdoors. I'd like to make I guess, an oral modification to the application relative to the weddings to reduce that number. I'm sorry, to suggest that the weddings take place Friday, Saturday, Sunday for a shorter period of time, one time per week, and then be outdoors, not indoors. But everything else remains the same. So I guess what I'd like to start off with is, I'm sure everybody knows that a complaint was submitted to the DVR last May 2020, oh, sorry.
When you said shorter period of time, what is the period of time?
So for the weddings, 1 to 7. I think 1 to 7. So relative to the complaint that was made with the DVR back in May of 2023, I can state to the members of the council that I spoke with John Mancone, Chief Public Protection Inspector. I just want to make sure I get that title correctly. He went out shortly after the complaint was registered in May of 2023. Did a site inspection. In the summer of 2024, a request was made of Mr. Wright and his wife relative to documents that the DVR was requesting. I facilitated the submission of those documents. I spoke with Mr. Mancone today. He informed me that there would be no punitive action taken against the license holder. 2, that there would be no violations relative to the license holder, and 3, that there's not going to be any action taken against the farm brewer's license held by Hill Farm Vineyards LLC. So I wanted to bring that to the council so that you would have that information relative to making the decision about the application for these special events. So at the moment, although the complaint hasn't been finalized yet, that's what I'm told by Mr. Mancone is going to be the outcome of the complaint. So relative to the farm brewer's license, under the general laws of the state of Rhode Island, the license is valid, there'll be no action taken against it. And Mr. Wright and myself, we're here this evening to ask you to approve the events that have been requested. I'm sure David can answer any questions relative to any of those events that you may have. We're going to ask that the same conditions as last year's approval be applied to this year's approval. And if there's any questions about the DVR process, I'm happy to answer those.
Good with that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I had some questions here. So, you know, we're talking about weddings here. So, are we talking just about the ceremony? Are we talking about ceremony and reception?
Both.
What are we talking
It
about?
will be both.
And outside, you mean outside and
Wedding
right?
tent.
Okay, so that's not really outside, now, it's a tent.
It's not in a building with 4 walls.
Right, but it's,
Otherwise, I think they could legally do it, right?
Yeah, so I think your ordinance does allow for those types of activities to take place in a building where there's an approved license.
What type of music are you considering?
It really would be up to the bride and the groom, but most weddings usually have either a DJ or some sort of light band. So, but it is amplified most of the time, even with guitars.
Which is why they shrunk
yeah,
the hours and the time would be over. So as to,
Now with agriculture zoning, are you allowed to, does the zoning allow for weddings?
Well, I guess, that's, again, the zoning doesn't allow a business to operate, it's not a business zone, right? So the zoning board granted the vineyard farming activity for tasting and selling bottles pursuant to the farm vineyard license. There's got a special exception for that in 2012. But if you're gonna expand the use, he might need zoning. So, as you notice, many of your applications that you approved tonight, you said subject to fire, subject to police, subject to building and zoning. So I know building has certain rules and regulations about tents. And if you have events like this, you might need to have the fire marshal approval, you might need to have a fireman on site. There's a lot of things that, as you know, you look at that list that you gave, assuming you're considering this, there's a whole list, and they may go to zoning, and zoning may say that they have to go back to the zoning board.
What about bringing in food?
Catering, well, that's the question, right?
Right.
Is that an expansion of the use, is it a different use? These are questions that really don't go to the license, right? Your license is contingent on a whole bunch of things, including zoning, police, fire, use. Right now, we don't know. I mean, I looked at it briefly, I looked at what they were granted in 2012. They weren't granted to run a wedding business or a concert business or a bar or a restaurant that has live entertainment.
Okay.
So they weren't granted that by your zoning.
May I?
Yes.
I don't disagree with anything the solicitor just said. I understand that in 2012, there was a special use permit to operate a wine brewery, a farm brewery. I understand that. But section 350 of your zoning ordinance, it doesn't exclude that type of use. And I understand what the solicitor is saying, that if you were to approve it, it could be subject to any type of zoning approvals that are needed, and we would certainly go there and seek that approval. But I don't see anything in the zoning ordinance that specifically excludes it.
Yeah, I would agree, because I know that people have family weddings, and they'll have tents and plenty of people on their property.
That's not for financial.
No, but I'm saying
Yeah.
for zone, I think for zoning purposes.
We're only here for special events. I mean, that's,
Right, but
everything
I know
else
what
is
I
up,
just-
it's
because
up to
the point I'm
other
saying-
authorities, not us.
Right.
We're
Just
not-
saying
I
to-
don't know
to the
anything about
council that-
agricultural, this or that.
Theoretically, they could have a problem in zoning.
I would feel more
That's
comfortable
all I'm saying.
holding off on the weddings until you go to zoning, and then coming back when zoning gives you the blessing, and then we can talk about it then. I don't wanna put the cart before the horse.
Coming back,
To us.
To
I
us.
understand that, to you, I understand that, but at a meeting sometime in the near future, or for the renewal next year, 2020?
No, I mean, after, find out what zoning says.
Yeah, a meeting before next year.
Yeah.
Well, before you be
Right.
doing things.
Just before the next renewal timeframe.
Correct.
Relative to that one requested event, the others, obviously, we still ask for the approval for those events.
Correct. The festivals, I know you've done a bunch with the DBA. Is the DBA one considered a festival?
Yeah, so the GBA,
GBA, sorry.
the GBA, we had a puppy appreciation day, we
Yep.
also had an artisan festival, and we partnered up with Mind Your Dog and Money Hill Tattoo, and so it's really nice for the businesses to get together and kind of work together. So they've been more successful than ever. This was our second year doing it, and we had a lot of dogs on the property, and the kids were really excited, so it's been wonderful.
I've actually visited the property a few times this year, and you guys have done a good job with everything. I haven't heard any loud music or any unruly crowds there, so.
Thank you.
And just for the sake of the record, it's my understanding that for the calendar year 2024, there haven't been any incidents where Gloucester PD went out to my client's property
One.
relative to a complaint.
One problem,
What's that?
the 14-piece band. The Amy Winehouse tribute band.
Okay, I'm sorry about, yeah, I
That's
forgot
it.
about that, yeah.
Everything else was smooth sailing, except for that.
We didn't get told to turn down the music or anything.
Yeah, it was just a
They
big
just came out.
production, yeah, I get it. My 2 cents on this whole thing is, I think we should keep it as none of the events that were acoustic, either duo or trio, had any problems. I think we should go through a year where we have no problems, no big live bands, and just do the smaller versions, which are more drinking wine too. And at that point, I have no problems with everything else except for making sure that, it's kind of like a trio or less. and keep it in that intimate section. And I think that that will keep the neighbors.
I like that idea too. I wasn't too crazy about the big band.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I mean, great music, but, you know, it rings out a little further. And
We're not trying to be a concert venue, we're
Right.
having background music, that's what we're trying to do, so.
so that's where I'm at.
I just have to say, and this is just my own personal opinion, and you're gonna go through a process, but, you know, I think that the wedding thought, that is, it's a totally different program we're talking about here, and especially when you ask for 8, right out of the blue. You know, I'd be willing, like, and again, this is just me, there's 4 other people here that are gonna make decisions as well, but you start at one or 2 or 3, if that were the case, if zoning allowed it, to see how it works. Because if we have problems, that'll be it. You know, you'll be back in front of us again.
That
So-
certainly sounds reasonable. We'll go
I'm
through
not
that.
saying I would do it, I'm just saying those are some things to be thinking about.
Well, let's go through that process first relative
Yeah.
to zoning, then we'll come back, and it may be moot, they may say no, but if it is something that can be done, we'll call back and we can discuss with the council members the number.
So, looks like last year, there were 8 farmer market type of events granted, 3 festivals, and 8 live music events.
That's accurate.
So we're looking for the same amount of farmers markets. We're looking for 2 more festivals and 6 more live music events. I'm not sure, like, out of the gate, what the live music events look like as far as how many weekends can that actually,
Sure.
you know, I don't even know if the math works.
Sure, so
Without-
we were looking to maybe have one earlier for Mother's Day, so start that process a little earlier, just like Katie's Tavern. We have a lot of guests that come out on Mother's Day and they always ask us for some sort of quartet or something like that. And we don't do that, and then we really don't do music all spring and most summer. We don't do that at all, and our customers ask us for that all the time. So that's why it's moved from 8 to that number.
Yeah. You know. And to a degree, I think my thoughts on the number of live music events, if it were to change some of that, some of the way my brain works is, you know, is there 0 weddings, is there, you know, so anyhow, that's just kind of what I'm thinking about, and we have to keep the weddings off the table, obviously, tonight, so.
So the live music events, I agree with what everybody said, but the other thing is, I'm out on, just me, I'm out on the 6 to 10, I'm out on that. 1 to 4 in the afternoons on a Saturday, Sunday, and I think that works well. And that's your hours, right, 1 to 4, 11 to 4, I think, right?
Yeah, so we were approved to be open until 11 PM, and we have children, so we just typically put our hours to 4 PM, just because we gotta make dinner for the kids and everything. But when it comes to the music, we had hoped to do an evening music, maybe a night with jazz and stars or something. So we thought that would be kind of fun for the adults one night. Oh, I'm sorry, in the evening hour, for the live music event.
Can we like limit that to maybe 2 of those events?
Or 4 to 7. 10's late.
Yeah, 10's like, right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Green, I didn't hear what you said.
I was thinking maybe limit it to 2 night events, and then Walt suggested 4 to 7 instead of 6 to 10.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not all.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Now I'll open it up to people. Come on up, please.
Okay, my name is Robert Rogers, 72 Country Meadow Lane. Okay, so we got the 8 markets, got 5 festivals, 14 live, and now all of a sudden we find out, well, a couple of those might be at night. How do we get to the nights? He's restricted to 11 to 4 for these entertainments. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you know, I wanna do something for the people to, bullshit. Stop the fussing around. Every year he comes here and he asks for at least a half a dozen weddings. And this board, along with the neighbors, have said, no weddings. It's not the area to have weddings.
That's off
This
the
is a
table.
residential area. I don't care what the zoning board says, it is not the place to have a wedding. I'd like to know when he's gonna start these live entertainments and when it's gonna end. Everybody else had certain months and they were gonna end at a certain month. His is, well, you know, we're gonna start a little early this time. Well, Mother's Day, you know, we got a lot of requests. Come on, you gotta schedule it on. Stop hossing around. You're running a business. Supposed to be a business, supposed to be a winery. I haven't seen any grapes over there and since I've lived here for 10 years.
Did you have issues with the live music or the amount of people coming in and out this year?
It hasn't been excessive. It has been loud. I can go in the house, I don't have to shut all the windows and everything. He's put it that he wouldn't do it every weekend. Some of these musics are okay, others are not. But I mean, everybody has different types of music that they like, so.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's getting kind of open area where he's got a carte blanche to do whatever he wants. I mean, we come here every year, it's a pain in the neck because we have to try and see what he's up to. And it's like, every year it's more and more. I want more events, I want more of this, I want more of that. When are you gonna call a stop? This is a residential area. I don't care if it's markets or festivals or something. Oh, it's good for the neighbors and everything else. Well, if people like it, they request. Now, stop it, will you? You wanna do some of this stuff, go somewhere else. Get out of the residential area. That's my piece.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that would be the same April to November, right? It'd be
I would
And
keep
even
the same.
discuss that, but we would certainly be putting parameters on that. It's
Yeah,
not
it'll
a,
be April, November, just like everybody else.
Just to clarify, same as all the other
Yep.
applicants, April to the
Yep.
end of October.
Thank you.
Kevin Lavoy, 59 Pound Road. I'd echo what Will said, that last year, the only event that I took any issue with was that first one, the Amy White House one. That was over the top. The rest of the year last year, I had nothing that I would object to or had any issues with at all. I would ask that you keep it to the events that, as it was last year, with some of the restrictions that you talked about putting into place. Obviously, no weddings, that's a whole different cup of tea. And I'd think twice about the evening music. As we all know, the noise travels a lot more in the wee hours of the afternoon or early evening and stuff like that they do in the afternoon. And the 1 to 4 has worked out pretty well. And I think that those parameters, I think, would be something that everyone could pretty much live with.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David Colantonio, 58 Pond Road. We're back again. And we're really getting tired of this. Every year it's more and more and more. And we live in a residential neighborhood, as my neighbors have said. It's residential. It's not zoned to be a wedding, an event, and music, and concert venue. And now I can't even keep track of everything they asked for tonight. Now it's, what is it, night times? Is it weddings? Was there an answer? Are they implying that if it's in a tent that's indoors and so that's quieter and less disruptive? Because it's not, okay? They've come here before and they lied to the town council and said, oh no, there were sides on the wedding tent when they never even got permission. Anyway, I agree with Mr. Lavoy. I would like to compromise, but if we compromise, they just want more. And that's what they keep doing every year. And so we're just asking for the quiet enjoyment of our residential homes. We shouldn't have to subsidize their business. I don't know what their business is. They're claiming that their business is to grow grapes and have a winery. And as my neighbor said, I think we're going on 11 years now. Not a single grape has been grown over there. So what is their business? It looks like their business is to be a wedding and event venue. That's why they're pushing so hard for it. I don't know how viable their business is otherwise if you don't grow any grapes and you don't make wine. So I would ask, I heard some other suggestions as a point of compromise. Well, first of all, I don't think they need any special events that involve music, and especially amplified music, and especially after 4 o'clock. That makes no sense at all in a residential neighborhood. But if there's gonna be some kind of music, it shouldn't be any more than what has been granted before. And it should be limited to acoustic music, non-amplified. And I think somebody suggested no more than a trio or less. That's all. And then I have no problem with the family fun days and things like that. Those are neighborhood things. I don't know, the dog event, I almost wanted to go over there. I love dogs, but we don't get along so well right now, so. Be neighborly. You know, I was hoping for a better year this year, and instead, they more than double down and triple down, and it's the Amy Winehouse cover band. And like someone else said, I like Amy Winehouse. I like cover bands like that. It doesn't belong in our residential neighborhood. There's a venue for that. And the people that come to see that band, they have a choice to come see it or to leave. I suppose we do have a choice to leave, and after that, I've left my house every time I know there's gonna be a special event, and that's ridiculous and wrong, and we shouldn't have to leave our houses to accommodate these outdoor events that have nothing to do with growing grapes. So I'm just asking that the town council does the right thing, please. Thank you.
How many of these events are amplified? Are they all amplified? I don't know. Oh, they all are? Okay.
Just the live music events. would
That's
be
fine. Like I said,
amplified.
I did show up a couple times and I didn't hear it being super loud, so, okay.
Well, I didn't hear any of the other ones afterwards, because
Okay.
like I said,
You
it's
are.
upsetting. I leave my house.
Okay.
I shouldn't have to. It's nice weather. That's when we want to enjoy our backyards and our fire pits and things like that. We should be able to choose our own music in our backyards. You know, and then we don't want to call the police. We've said that before. I called that one time, and I spend more time apologizing to the police because I feel like I'm bothering them. And they're very nice, and they say, look, we would do something, but you need to talk to the town council. But the town council has said to us numerous times, you need to call the police. No, the town council needs to do the right thing. If they wanna grow grapes and make wine, that's what they have a license to do. But they're trying to turn this into a different business, it looks like. Because you don't need to have all these outdoor events, amplified music, bands, weddings, to grow grapes and make wine. And like my neighbor pointed out, there are still no grapes growing. It's been 11 years. But lots of concerts.
Robert Dietzel, 116 Country Meadow Lane. I've been here, I think the last 3 times that we've had these meetings and the subject has come up. And as stated previously, I'm not only a resident, I'm the president of the association, the condo association there. We've had more people come in the past because we felt strongly about what was gonna take place, and we felt that the noise was unacceptable to the kind of living that we wanted. Quite frankly, we've been worn down. We don't have as many people coming now. They've thrown up their hands, they said it's not worth it. We've been this fight before, we've made our points before. For the most part this year, I would agree with what Kevin said and what most people have said. It hasn't been a big problem. Now, I live further away in the back of the association. When I can hear it, I know it's loud, because any of you who haven't been there, it's just a big circle is all it is. So the condos that are closest to the road obviously back up to the winery. And when I sit in my sister's yard, who also owns one of those condos, we can hear it. Now, is it obtrusive? Most of the time, no, it's not. Several times when I've been on my deck in the back, I have been able to hear it. Those things bother me. Now, I realize that you said you're gonna table the wedding situation until zoning has been straightened out. I would be totally against, as would the majority of the association for weddings, because we all know what happens in weddings. It's a happy time, there's alcohol, there's bands. 1 to 4 has worked for us there. For the most part, it hasn't been too loud a couple of times this past year. The 6 to 10 were very, very suspicious or very problematic. No guarantees that when we close our windows, we're not gonna be able to hear it. So as far as it goes, I would agree with most people have said. What we did last year, we've accepted it. To go any further than that, I would be totally against it.
Thank you.
Judy Patisi, 56 Country Meadow Lane. That was my brother. And it's true, when he sits out in my patio, my back patio backs up against Pound Road, which backs up to Mulberry Vineyard. Most of the time this year, there has been a problem. The Amy Winehouse was absolutely ridiculous, okay? It was like I was sitting in a concert, and I shouldn't have to do that on a Sunday afternoon. I think what we did what they gave them last year was not a problem except for that, okay? I think not the nighttime, because like someone else mentioned, sound travels a lot more at night, you know, and we're a 55 plus community. We're not up all hours of the night listening to music. And we don't wanna hear that. And you don't know what kind of shenanigans can end up happening at that particular time. So I think what they did was this year, every other weekend they had, 1 to 4, worked fine. As long as it's not that loud 14-piece band and gets crazy. Even when they had Lise Testone from American Idol, that was even worse. It was so loud. I mean, I can hear every word that is sung. I shouldn't have to do that. I can't even go to my house to close the windows, I can still hear them. So for the most part, I would suggest if they wanna go with what they had this year, that's not a problem. And the wedding thing, we shouldn't have to come here every year and you say no every year to weddings, but they ask every year for weddings. And we shouldn't have to continue to do this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I'm gonna close the public hearing. Are we good on the farmers markets?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Are we good on the festivals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve, good with that?
Festivals?
Well, I sort of look at this as a big, so yes, I am good on the farmers markets, you know. I'm looking at, okay, so the two things we're chatting about here tonight, weddings is obviously off the tables, festivals and live music.
I think it was more the live music, I think the festival was the same as last year. Right, that
The
is-
festival request has gone from 3 to 5, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, as we talk about going from,
I think the
you know,
neighbors.
look, 11 events, 11 events total were used, okay, this past year. 19 were granted, 11 were used. We all know that there was one day which clearly wasn't acceptable to anybody, and I think Mulberry Vineyards is aware of that, and I don't think that they're gonna let that. It feels like we've made progress towards harmony here, and that's a good thing,
I don't think
So-
festivals were concerned though of any of the.
it doesn't sound like that.
Doesn't sound like the
So,
festivals were
yes,
concerned.
in short, I am good with the festivals.
The live music, I think, is the issue with.
So live music and the hours are obviously, the big concern.
I definitely would not be good with 6 to 10, that's too late.
I agree.
He did suggest 4 to 7.
He's asking for 2 more than last year.
No. 6 more.
6 more, 6 more.
And again, they had that one issue last year, which he's not gonna replicate, hopefully.
I have all the confidence in the world, there's not gonna be a 14-piece rock and roll band, all the confidence in the world. I think we can even just, you know.
I don't even know if there's enough weekends.
So that's why, as I'm doing, again, my
April and
math,
November, how many
which I
weekends are
brought
there?
up.
Not consecutive.
So we've been talking, so obviously it's not consecutive, right? And given the, you know, apparent change in our weather patterns here, you know, the going from, you know, April to November versus May, you know, versus May
There's
through
enough for every other weekend, there would be plenty.
So,
There's
you
plenty of
know,
weekends.
and I also understand that, you know, again, going back, and this is tough, and it's out of control of operators, is it could rain for 2 straight months, like, it felt like it did this spring, which is why a lot of these licenses were not utilized.
It's out of our control.
Yeah, you know, I just, you know, I think, you know, last year, you know, we put it to them, hey, we don't want disruption. For the most part, except for that one band, we didn't get disruption. You know, with a promise you won't have it again. You know, I'm fine with maybe up, you know, I don't think go to the 14 that he asked for. We gave him 8 last year. Is that what we did? He had 8?
8 were granted last
8
year.
live music, so split it, maybe go to 11. See. Or 10. I'll keep it.
And I also think the hours are a big deal. You know, I think, you know, those hours, evening hours are great for everybody going, you know, sound like fun, but they're great for everybody going, but not the neighbors.
Same as last year.
Same as last year.
That was all amplified last year.
I think we all strenuously object to more of this, and what's sad is,
If you're gonna, and it's screaming, please come up.
I think I speak on behalf of my neighbors. Why is there more? Is this every year that we're gonna have to come back? We already don't like what you've granted. We try to tolerate it, and then we hope maybe they'll be nice, and I don't know, any reasonable person thought that a 14-piece band with a full brass section and drums was possibly going to be reasonable. And we just have to hope that this is reasonable, and then we're gonna reward them with more. You know what's sad is, you said, talking about rain. I'm hopeful for rain on the weekends, so I can enjoy my house, so that hopefully their concerts get rained out, so I can enjoy my property in the nice weather. But this is absurd that we can't, in a residential neighborhood, why can't we enjoy our backyards? Why, I don't understand why we have to subsidize their agricultural business with even more concerts. Like I said, we're here in the spirit of, we're trying to compromise. But as I said to my neighbors before, in my experience, when you compromise, people just ask for more. And that's what they're doing. So, you know, we're not here saying none. We're trying to compromise, and then it's more.
Well, I think we're moving the needle in the right place.
It sounds like it's moving more towards the other direction.
We just took weddings off the table, so.
If we go April to November, that's 7 months. So we've extended it by a little more time. So he's looking at 14,
Which could create actually more weekends of nothing, in theory.
Because if they pull a license and it rains, the license is still used, correct? Is that how that works or no?
Yeah, they can still use it.
No, they can still use it at a later
But-
date.
We use it.
Because
It's
it
like a
can't be
bank.
consecutive weekends.
Right, I see.
So,
Right.
it's a time.
So what's the number that we wanna go with?
Well, yeah, well, and again, I think the hours are a big deal too. I think, well, I'll say for myself, 6 to 10 should be off the table.
I agree with that.
Stick with 1 to 4.
Stick with 1 to 4.
I
And
think so.
I'm good 1 to 4.
I'm fine with 1 to 4.
Well, we're extending the months, and so maybe compromise from 8 to 11 instead of the 14.
That's where I'm leaning.
What was that again, 11?
11, it's because we're extending the time period.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, he used 50% of his events from last year. He uses 50% of his events this year. Well, the farmers markets and the festivals don't really create too much noise because they're just
People.
people.
Or they create
So
traffic,
his,
but not-
his 11 live events could turn to 5. Do you remember how many actual
11 were used.
11, how many were those were Sundays? Do you remember?
Well, how many music events, did you actually use last year?
We used all our music licenses.
You did use them all?
And we didn't do the farmers markets because we just weren't ready to use the farmers markets. So we're still working on building our barn and
So all 19 were Sundays?
yes, we didn't have music on any Saturdays that I recall.
So theoretically, it's already gonna be half of that for live
Right,
music.
and when it rains, you lose all this. So when you ask for 14, and then typically New England weather, this is outside events, as a reminder, and we bear the burden of, we have to pay the band, the musicians, even if it rains, and we can't move them inside, even if it rains, so.
So 8 farmers markets, 5 festivals, 14 down to 11 live music events, 1 to 4 only trio, nothing larger than that.
Well, do we have parameters on the trio? Was that a parameter last year? I don't know.
It was just music.
Do we,
I wouldn't start getting into, I mean, clearly 14-piece band is not appropriate, you know, but the difference between.
a trio and a quartet as well?
Right, I just don't wanna,
I don't know.
it feels like it's too much,
I think they understand
the
the
difference.
difference.
Yeah.
So, and the weddings, we'll send them to zoning and we hear that if it comes back.
Again, beautiful venue for a wedding. I don't know if it's the right venue. And again, we're not going there tonight, but you know, I don't know how you add weddings on top of these special events and have it every other weekend. And I just don't know. And again, it's, you know, we're not going there tonight. But
We're not going to, and I would not be supportive of anything more than 1 or 2 if it even came back, and I'd have to really think about that, and listen to the rest of the people, you know, come up and talk about it again.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion?
Did we close the?
I thought I
You already closed.
Yeah,
Okay.
close.
I'll make a motion to grant the special events for 2025 for Mulberry Vineyards location of business 95 Pound Road. 8 farmers markets, 5 festivals, 11 live music events Saturday or Sunday, 1 to 4 p.m. only. 0 weddings, for a total of 24 special events individually licensed allowed with the following stipulations. 1, the filing of an application 6 business days prior to each event. 2, crowd management and parking plan filed with each application. 3, no on-street parking allowed on Mount Road. 4, the approval of the chief of police and the fire chief. 5, this approval may be rescinded by the town council for just cause. 6, compliance with the special event ordinance. 7, any use outside that consists of amplification of music or entertainment shall be considered a special event requiring a license and shall count against the total number granted. Events to be held on non-consecutive weekends.
Okay, a second?
I'll second.
Excuse me. Could we set the time limit on this?
We did 1 to 4.
1 to 4 p.m. only,
Yep, no nighttime.
no nighttime.
All in favor?
Wait.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Aye. Oh, and it's gotta be April to November, do we need to?
Do we need to put that in April,
Yeah.
November?
Yeah, we need to do that.
Recuse the, what do we call that?
I'll take back my vote.
We'll take back the vote,
Just make a motion to reconsider.
Okay.
make a motion to reconsider.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a new vote.
Alright. I'll make a motion to grant the special events for 2025 for Mulberry Vineyards location of business, 95 Pound Road, to consist of 8 farmers markets, 5 festivals, 11 live music events, 0 weddings, for a total of 24 special events, individually licensed, allowed with the following stipulations from April through November. 1, the filing of an application 6 business days prior to each event. 2, crowd management and parking filed with each application. 3, no on-street parking allowed on Pound Road. 4, the approval of the chief of police and the fire chief. 5, the approval may be rescinded by the town council for just cause. 6, compliance with the special event ordinance. 7, any use that consists of outside amplification of music or entertainment shall be considered a special event requiring a license and shall count against the total number granted. 8, the event should be held on non-consecutive weekends. I just want to stipulate that it was between 1 and 4 only.
One day, Saturday and Sunday.
And 1 for only on Friday, yeah, Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Is that clear, Madam Clerk?
That's clear? Okay. C, Gloucester Code of Ordinance, Proposed Comprehensive Community Plan, number 24-02, discussion and interaction. This public hearing was advertised in the Valley Breeze Observer on October 31st, November 7th, and November 14th, 2024. Declare the public hearing open. Council's received the following advisory opinion from the Planning Board, Comprehensive Plan Amendment 24-02, advisory opinion of the Planning Board, November 12th, 2024. At the November 12th, 2024 meeting, the following motion was made by the Planning Board member DeGrange. I make a motion to recommend the Town Council adopt Amendment 24-02 to Gloucester 2040, the Town of Gloucester's Comprehensive Community Plan. This amendment will add additional text to the land use element of the comprehensive plan and add a map depicting designated growth centers. The Planning Board finds that this amendment is consistent with the following sections of the comprehensive plan. Number 1, land use goal 1. Preserve the rural character of Gloucester for future generations while enhancing service and facilities, housing, open space and recreation, natural and cultural resources, circulation, and economic development. 2, land use policy 1, protect, enhance, and maintain the unique natural, historical features of Gloucester while allowing for appropriate development to occur. 3, land use policy 2, encourage responsible use decisions by public officials and public bodies. 4, economic development goal 1, encourage economic development that aligns with the town's rural character and expands and diversifies the town tax base. 5, economic development policy 1, broaden and diversity the town economic base to reduce in residential sectors property tax burden. Information about this plan amendment was made available at Town Hall and has been disseminated to the public on the town's website and this public hearing. The public has had the opportunity to provide both written and oral comments on the proposed amendments. A public hearing was held in the Planning Board on November 12th, 2024. Notice of the public hearing was given specifying location, date, and time of the hearing, indicated that the adoption of the amendment to the comprehensive plan is under consideration. Advised those interested where and when the matter under consideration may be examined or obtained, and stated that the plan may be altered prior to the close of the public hearing without further advertising. The notice was given in the Valley Breeze, published October 24, 2024, October 31, 2024, and November 7, 2024, providing at least 3 weeks of notice. The motion was seconded by Planning Board member Mike Fournier. Ayes: Caldera, Clifford, Fernie, Pataco, DeGrange, Bard, and Fournier, and a memo. Anybody wishing to speak regarding the proposed amendments to the comprehensive plan, please step up to the microphone, state your name and your call on. Good evening.
Good evening. Janice Lowell, 2404 Putnam Pike. Actually, just have a couple of questions. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend the planning board meeting, so I guess I'm a little behind. Just looking at the map on the back page indicating the growth centers. I think you may know where I'm leading with this, but I do have concern over the little area shaded out towards Bowdish Lake as a potential growth area. We have kind of walked down this road, and I've been before the council many times about some of the proposed uses of one of those lots in that growth area. And I'm a little bit concerned when you start to call something a growth area when we've had previous attempts to bring in not suitable businesses to that area, when we've had applications for not suitable projected businesses in the area, applicants with no plan for any designated businesses in the area. And my concern is that then being identified as a growth area when one of the applicants with the B2 property there has already come in and asked for growth, we'll call it, and been denied. So I'm just concerned that when you start, instead of just calling it what it is, it's a B2 highway commercial zone, we start calling it a growth area, and then we've previously told applicants, no, you can't grow business in that area. That's my concern. What does that mean going forward for people who have growth in mind that might not be suitable for the area?
So,
Can we get Karen?
yeah, I'll have Karen address it, but I will say before Karen gets up, all of this is driven by policies that have been approved at the State House. We have no control over that, but I'll let Karen.
And I'd just like to piggyback on that. The system has already caught some of those, and they've been denied.
Right.
So I think that the system is, and I'll let Karen kind of explain to that, but.
But I just wonder what's the vision for that area when we say it's a growth area?
Sure.
And
The
then,
town planner would-
just so
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't have to get up again, I just wanted to, I think we have previously kind of looked at this nonsense of what an application has to include, and that all of these things are now crossed off for an application. And I understand, I think I'm preaching to the choir with this, but what do we do? Well, how do we object to this? How do we go backwards? Maybe we can't, but I just kind of have to say on record, this is nonsense. You can come in here without any kind of plan and apply for whatever willy-nilly. And I'm not sure who thought that was sensible, but I understand it's certainly not this council.
Yeah.
State
Thank
legislature.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. So I can address the growth center issue. So in the subdivision regulations, as part of the legislation that forced us to change our subdivision regulations, it significantly changed the definitions of different types of development. What's a minor subdivision, what's a minor land development project, what's a major subdivision, what's a major land development project. And it made minor subdivisions anything under 10 lots. And it made minor land development anything commercial 7,500 square feet or less. And it, instead of making those go to the planning board, which they historically have done, they made those administrative approvals. So what it did was take the whole public process out of any of those commercial developments that are 7,500 square feet or less. In the legislative changes, they said you can put certain types of development to development plan review, which requires a public hearing and approval from the planning board. And it listed 4 or 5 different things you can do or areas where you can require that development plan review. And one of those is a growth center. So we latched onto that concept to say, okay, if we make all our commercial districts, we haven't changed anything from B2 or B1, these are just our commercial districts that we have in place. If we call those growth centers, mark them in the comprehensive plan, now anything that's happening there is going to be subject to development plan review and have a public hearing and have public notice. If we did not designate any growth centers, anything 7,500 square feet or less, anything less than 10 units would be all administrative.
So it's kind of like, it's protecting our small little areas.
So this designation is putting in place a mechanism for us to let the public back in the process where the state law tried to exclude them. So that's the kind of the concept behind these growth centers. What does it mean? It means it's a highway commercial and B1 and B2 district. It doesn't expand it. I think the request she was talking about tried to expand it by a lot of acres. This does not expand anything. It's the highway commercial and the neighborhood commercial zones only. So that's the commercial growth centers. The other type of growth center that we're designating is a mixed-use growth center, which is the entirety of the village district, because we want to have some public process around the development that goes in there. So in short, that's kind of the reasoning behind this. We're not doing anything differently than we're currently doing. The zoning stays the same. We're just trying to take kind of the backdoor way to re-engage the public when we've been.
I kind of like where that's going.
Yeah, I mean,
Does that answer your question, Beck?
Yes.
So it's actually kind of a
good
good
thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
It was our creative solution that we could find.
Thank you for being
to do
creative.
this.
Right.
Okay, that's all. That's all I had for them.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak on that?
Mr. President, just so we're clear, I don't know could we clarify, Karen, what application form the young lady was speaking about? Because she was waving it around, and I think, is it the state law that changed it? Are we talking about eliminating master plan? Do you know what form she's talking
I
about?
think it's probably a zoning ordinance change, so I think that's the next public hearing.
Okay.
If you want me to do it now, I can.
Well, I just want to make sure she waved it around, and I just want to make sure we can address it for the young lady. I don't know what it was.
It's page 3, it's just the application's requirements.
Yeah.
Which seem to be none.
That way it was just being taken out of the zoning and put into planning. Again, I don't know what that is, I'm sorry.
So if you're referring to the development plan review, that's all crossed out? So that was relocated to the subdivision regulations. This is hard because we had to amend 3 different documents: comp plan, zoning ordinance, subdivision regulations. Comp plan has a public hearing here in the planning board, but you make the decision. Zoning has an advisory to you, public hearing here, you make the decision. Subdivision has advisory here, public hearing before the planning board, they make the decision. So there was a lot of kind of moving pieces to this, but if you see the companion piece, which I'm happy to share, you'll see all this stuff almost word for word relocated to the subdivision regulations. So there's, for specific development plan review, when you're coming with a project, there's a very specific set of criteria that you have to bring into there. It doesn't change what you have to bring in for rezoning or anything like that, but for development plan review, it's all in the subdivision regs.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
So thank you. I know that town planners work very hard on this, and a lot of it is not by choice. But I just wanted to clarify, because maybe I'm confused, but the experience that we had at the previous meeting for the attempt at the rezone of the property, the solicitor explained to us that the applicant could come in without a plan. That's what I'm referencing. That they can just come in and ask for whatever without having any plan, and that doesn't seem logical or sensible at all.
Again, I can address it, that's just a function of state law.
Right.
State law provides that anybody that's a property owner, if you own a piece of property, you have the legal right to file an application for a zone change. That requires the planning board to make a recommendation, but the council would have to do it. But doesn't mean it's gonna be granted, but they always have that right.
Yes,
I have a question that might piggyback on to what they're saying.
Sure.
Just my own clarification, to be honest with you. I don't gotta get up to.
I was gonna say, you're
And
okay.
I just wanna finish, that is not a, that right to make a zone change is not a right given by the council, it's the state legislature that imposes it on the entire state. Unfortunately, the sad reality is the state General Assembly has taken most of the local authority about zoning and planning away from the council and the planning board and the zoning board, and to reduce the scope of local control. And that's what we're wrestling with, and the planner has worked so diligently to try to find anything and everything to try to hook our wagon to keep some local control and the participation of the public. I know that doesn't say much to reassure you, but just want you to know it's not the council's choice.
Yes, sir.
Roland LaValle, 97 Pine Orchard Road. I was glad she got up, brought my blood pressure down.
Thank you, Jim.
The last meeting I was here was when the planning board gave their, the guy up on Reservoir, they wanted to change it from residential to commercial. Planning board said, no, you guys went, oh, bless you, you said, okay, we'll take that. I did not know to the extent that the Land Use Act, would have effect upon the community. So my neighbor took from the last meeting that I was unable to come, and I'm trying to read through it, and to be honest with you, I just got a headache. So I pity you guys who actually have to try and understand it. So I was looking for the Cliff Note version of what happens. So I went up to Google, and I actually came across a law firm, Hinckley and Allen. You know who they are, right? They gave like a 7-paragraph, boiled down version of it. And basically what you were just saying it is, if somebody applies, goes to the planning board says no, they can just do right over the town council, go to the Superior Court, the land use board, Judge Lanfair is the court judge there, and they can file a grievance, and they don't have to give a reason why they want to change their property, which doesn't make sense. So am I understanding that correctly?
Substantially correctly, but still, zone change is still a very difficult thing to do without council authority. Zone change is one thing that's still a council, if you have a comprehensive plan that says that we recommend this to be zoned residential lot.
Yeah.
And somebody came in and wanted to change it to a commercial lot.
Yeah.
Which I think was the case. The planning board could say, no, you're not consistent with our comprehensive plan, and they make a recommendation to the council to say no.
Yeah.
And the council says no. To overturn the council actually is very difficult.
Yeah,
To overturn
that
that zoning. I think you're getting into other land use areas, but overturning a zoning denial of a zone change is still very difficult.
No, that part I actually understand, and I'm glad this young lady got up there and spoke, because I understood it a lot better. I now know what a B1, B2 is, and the reason why we got growth centers, because like the lady in the back, when I was going through this, more pages than the Providence Journal, and came across that map, I went, oh, no. this is beginning to look like Route 5 and 44. And we all know that was forest before at one time. It was actually in a trust, if I'm not mistaken. So that was my question. Now, let's suppose somebody owns large swaths of land, and according to Hinckley and Allen, what used to be you can only put 5 properties on a certain size of land, now you can do 9. So what happens if somebody owns a large portion of property that's zoned residential and wants to turn it into complete low-income housing? And then, because if it's low-income housing, they're gonna apply for HUD grants. And you know the hooks that HUD does. Am I understanding this correctly?
You are. I don't mean to jump in, but so that's a whole different issue. The Low and Moderate Income Housing Act provides for these comprehensive permits that give density bonuses for low and moderate income housing. So you're right, you could have a substantial number. I think if you had sewer and water, you get 5 extra units per acre, and if you don't have sewer and water, it's, I don't know, is it 3 per acre?
Yeah.
I'm going by memory, but you automatically get those, and if you deny it, that's when you jump over, you go see Judge Lampier, and he just gives it to you.
Well, Judge Lampier is a reasonable judge, but he always defers to the government first, because there's the preemption rule that he has to go by. So let's suppose, you talk about water and sewage, let's suppose somebody has a large swath of land, wants to turn it into moderate income that requires sewerage and water. Now the town is on the hook for a lot of money, because most of us have wells.
I don't think they can.
Yeah, that we wouldn't have to do.
We don't have it. We don't have
Oh,
it.
but what if the state says so? They just told you to change the zoning rules.
Well, we don't, I don't think, we don't have it.
I
They
mean,
can't
you-
force us to
land
put it
use.
in. I don't
We
believe.
don't have a sewer and water system.
Get one.
No,
they-
then it would happen.
No, I do not trust the state legislature. I used to spend a lot of time up there, and let me tell you, what they need is, never mind the fire prevention. Hook it up to PRL, and as soon as you walk in there, you get sprayed from the time you're in there till the time you get out, because there is a filthy sewer up there. And we all know why we have land use bills. Wouldn't happen to be because anybody's a realtor attorney, if you know what I'm talking about. And this all has to do, it's funny because I was at my lawyer's office this weekend, the good stuff. And he was telling me, he goes, oh yeah, I do some of that. Most of it is because of ADUs. I said, well, what about us up here? Suppose you want a new build, now you don't do 5 homes, you just do, not 9 homes on your property. Now, we do 9 homes with ADUs. And they request that, they put in an application for that. Planning board says, no, it doesn't fit in with the fabric of our community. And they go, all right, Judge Lampier, here we come. And it's because of the preemption rule, you're gonna lose every single time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly doing the best we can to maintain as much control as possible. That's for sure.
Oh,
And
trust
thanks
me.
to our planner for
I believe all you guys
putting
are
on
the
all our
same page.
creative hats. We, I would say that the lion's share of this community is very like-minded when it comes to things like that, for sure.
We've been
So-
pushing back on this thing ever since it raised its head a couple of years back, so.
Where were we?
All right, anybody else speaking? All right, I'm gonna declare that public hearing closed. Okay, we're gonna adopt an ordinance from the comprehensive plan. Okay. Who wants to read that?
I knew you were gonna say that.
Is it, what's that? Yeah.
Yeah, so, make sure I get this right here. So an ordinance and amendment to chapter 1, article 3 of the ordinances of the town of Gloucester. Whereas the Rhode Island Comprehensive Planning and Land Use Act, Title 45, Chapter 22.2-2, requires that all Rhode Island communities adopt a comprehensive plan to be in conformance with the act. Whereas the Glocester Planning Board held a necessary public hearing with the required advertising and forwarded the plan amendment with a recommendation to the Town Council, and whereas the Glocester Town Council held a necessary public hearing with the required advertising, it is hereby ordained by the Town Council of the Town of Glocester, Rhode Island, that the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Glocester, Rhode Island is hereby amended as follows. Chapter 1, General Provisions. Article 3, Comprehensive Community Plan. Section 1-20, Comprehensive Plan Update and/or Amendment. Comprehensive Plan of the Town of Gloucester, originally adopted on June 16, 1994, and duly amended and/or updated from time to time, and is most recently adopted by the Gloucester Town Council per RIGL 45-22.2-8 on April 19, 2018, amended on October 1st, 2020, and May 6th, 2021, and November 21st, 2024, entitled Gloucester 2040. Is hereby incorporated by reference in the Gloucester Code of Ordinances. Section 1-21, effective date. The comprehensive plan, as amended, shall take effect for the purpose of conforming municipal land use decisions and for the purpose of being transmitted to the Rhode Island Director of Administration for state review as of the date of adoption by the Town Council, November 21st, 2024.
Hey, a second.
Second.
Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Councilor Greathouse?
Aye.
Councilor Steer?
Aye.
Councilor Burlingame?
Aye.
Councilor Arnold?
Aye.
Councilor Worthy?
Aye. Motion passed. Gloucester Code of Ordinance, Chapter 350, Zoning, Proposed Amendments, Discussion or Action. Article 1, Administration of Procedures. Article 7, Special Regulations. Article 8, Non-Conforming Uses. Article 11, Comprehensive Permit for Low and Moderate Income Housing. Attachment 2, Table of Dimensional Regulations. This public hearing was advertised in the Valley Breeze Observer on October 31st, November 7th, and November 14, 2024. I declare the public hearing open. Council has received an advisory opinion from the Planning Board, amendments to the zoning ordinance. Advisory opinion of the Planning Board, November 12th, 2024. At their November 12th, 2024 meeting, the following motion was made by Planning Board Member DeGrange. After careful consideration and discussion, the Gloucester Planning Board hereby recommends that the Town Council enact revisions to the Gloucester Code of Ordinances and zoning ordinances as detailed in the attached draft revisions. Article 1, Administration and Enforcement, draft date 7/31/24, Chapter 350-5, Definitions. Article 1, Administration and Enforcement, draft date 8/20/2024, Chapter 350-7, 8, Notification. Article 1, Administration of Enforcement, draft date 8/20/2024, Chapter 350-7, 11, Modifications. Article 1, Administration and Enforcement, draft date 10/1/24, Chapter 350-8, General Provision Variances. Article 7, Special Regulations, draft date 8/2/24, Chapter 350-57, Development Plan Review, Chapter 350 through 57.1, Unified Development Review. Chapter 7, Chapter 350 through 59, Adaptive Reuse, draft date 10/17/24, add adaptive reuse to the use table. Article 8, Non-Conforming Uses, draft date 8/29/24, Chapter 350 through 66, Substandard Lots of Record. Chapter 350-13, Attachment 2, Table of Dimensional Regulations. Article 11, Comprehensive Permit for Low and Moderate Income Housing, draft date 10/1/24, as amended, new date 11/12/24. Said revisions make changes and/or additions to definitions, notification requirements, zoning modifications, variances, development plan review, unified development review, adaptive reuse, substandard lots of record, and comprehensive permits for low and moderate income housing. The board recommendation this regard is based upon the following findings of fact relating to the consistency with the Gloucester Comprehensive Community Plan and purposes of zoning per RIGL Title 45, Chapter 24, the Zoning Enabling Act of 1991, as noted below. Finding of fact, consistency with comprehensive community plan. 1, proposed amendments are consistent with the goal of the land use element, preserve the rural character of Gloucester for future generations while enhancing services and facilities, housing, open space and recreation, natural and cultural resources, circulation of economic development. 2, the proposed amendments are consistent with the policies of the land use element. A, protect, enhance, and maintain the unique natural and historical features of Gloucester while allowing for appropriate development to occur. B, encourage responsible land use decisions by public officials and public bodies. 3, the proposed amendments are consistent with the goal of the economic development element, encourage economic development that aligns with the town's rural character, and also expands and diversifies the town tax base. The proposed amendments are consistent with policy 5 of the economic development element. 8, prevent the negative effect of economic growth, including environmental degradation and dramatic changes to community character from occurring in the town. Consistency with the purpose of zoning. The planning board finds that the proposed zoning amendments are consistent with the following general purposes of zoning ordinances per RIGL 45-24-30. Number 1, promoting the public health, safety, and general welfare. Number 2, providing for a range of uses and intensities of the use appropriate to the character of the city or town and reflecting current and expected future needs. 3, providing for orderly growth and development which recognizes the goals and patterns of land use contained in the comprehensive plan for the city or town adopted pursuant to Chapter 22-2 of this title. In making this recommendation, the board has considered the following. Number 1, discussions held at the following meetings. A, January 23, 24. B, March 12, 24. C, May 14, 24. D, June 11, 24. E, October 1, 24. And F, November 12, 2024. Legislation was passed by the General Assembly in 23 and in 24, which requires multiple changes to the zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations. Based above the findings, I hereby make a motion to recommend approval of the draft zoning ordinance revisions as noted above to Gloucester Town Council. The motion was seconded by Planning Board member John Bart. Ayes were Caldera, Clifford, Fernie, Pataco, DeGrange, Bart, and Fournier. And a memo. Anyone wishing to speak regarding the proposed amendments of the zoning ordinance, Chapter 350, please step up to the microphone and state your name. Slow down to the microphone. All right. No one's going to speak. I declare the public meeting closed. Can I get a motion, please?
Make a motion to adopt the proposed amendments to the Gloucester Code of Ordinance, Chapter 350, Article I, Administration and Procedures, Article 7, Special Regulations, Article 8, Non-Conforming Uses, Article 11, Comprehensive Permit for low and moderate income housing, and Attachment 2, Table of Dimensional Regulations. Said amendments shall be effective upon adoption November 21st, 2024.
Second.
A second. All right, all in favor?
No, I can make a roll call.
Oh, roll call, please.
Councilor Greathouse?
Aye.
Councilor Steer?
Aye.
Councilor Burlingame?
Aye.
Councilor Arnold?
Aye.
Councilor Worthy?
Aye. Motion passed. Number 8, consent items, discussion or action, approval of town council minutes, regular meeting of October 17, 2024. B, tax assessors additions and abatements, October 2024. C, finance director report, October 2024. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the town council minutes of October 17, 2024, to approve the additions to the 2024 tax roll in the amount of $3,027.22, and the abatement to the 2024 tax roll in the amount of $1,662.62, and to accept the finance director's report for October 2024.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. New business, authorization of funds for professional services of Sansucci Associates. Re FM Global Appeal, discussion by council.
table on this?
We're gonna table this, can I ask for a
I'll make a
table?
motion to table the authorization of funds for the professional services of Sansucci Associates.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Boards and commissions, discussion, interaction, resignations, discussion, interaction, zoning board. And number one, position, 4 to 5 year term to expire 10/31/2026. This is for resignation of Robert Kelman.
I'll make a motion to accept with thanks the resignation of Robert Kelman from position number 4 of the zoning board of review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number two, zoning, position number 2, 5-year term to expire 10/31/2027. This item is for the resignation of Christopher Hockness.
Motion to accept with thanks the resignation of Christopher Hockness from position number 2, zoning board of review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
2, appointments, discussion, interaction. Zoning board, position number 4, 5-year term, expired 10/31/2026. The chair has recommended that alternate Frank Anderson be moved to position number 4. Can I get a motion?
Motion to appoint Frank Anderson to position number 4, zoning board of review for the completion of a 5-year term to expire 10/31/2026.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Position 2, 5-year term to expire 10/31/2027. Chair's recommended that alternate Donna DeJulio move to position number 2.
Motion to appoint Donna DeJulio to position number 2, zoning board of review for completion of a 5-year term to expire 10/31/2027.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I recuse myself on that vote.
Okay, so 4 and 1. 3, alternate 1, 1-year term to expire 12/31/2024. The chair has recommended the appointment of John Kitson to alternate number 1 position at Talent Bank. This app was submitted.
Motion to appoint John Kitson to the alternate number 1 position on the zoning board of review for a 1-year term to expire 12/31/2024.
Second.
Second.
Is that correct? It's gonna expire next month?
Is he filling the term?
Just going on
Alternate?
the term?
1-year alternate.
Yep, okay. Just wanna make sure.
Number 4, alternate 2, 1-year term to expire.
Do we vote
Aye.
on this? Do we say aye?
Aye,
Oh, all in favor, aye.
sorry.
Sorry, everything got
Aye.
wild. It's a wild night here.
Crazy wall.
And then
Rabble
We're all eating sugar. Start doing cartwheels. All right, back to, here we are. Alternate number 2, 1-year to expire 12/31/2024. No recommendations at this time. Please consider tabling the position.
I make a motion to table to December 5th, 2024, the alternate number 2 position on the zoning board of review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Z, ARPA funds, de-obligate and obligations, discussion, interaction. Finance director and the planner have worked on an update of the ARPA funds. They have submitted a memo with the following explanation. 2 council members. Date November 12, 2024. American Rescue Plan Act funds. The U.S. Treasury allocated state and local fiscal recovery funds to the town of Glocester in the amount of $3,085,615. These funds are subject to the obligation deadline of December 31st, 2024, and the spending deadline of December 31st, 2026. Treasury has issued interim final rule requiring an interagency agreement between any entity receiving funds, including in the recipient, satisfy the obligation requirements of those funds in place by December 31st, 2024. Therefore, all funds must be allocated to the project so that the memorandum of the agreement can be drafted for each project that has an outstanding balance at December 31st, 2024. The finance director and the planner have submitted a list of de-obligations and obligations to reach the goal of spending deadline in a way best for Gloucester. If the council's ready and everyone has had a chance to review the memo with suggestions, we can make a motion.
Quick question, were we just de-obligating right now, we're not obligating anything, or?
Little of both.
From the discussion earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I'll make a motion to de-obligate project number 8, police station tower, $130,000. De-obligate project number 38, architect/test holes, $34,345. Project number 54, Police security fencing, $17,123. Make a motion to obligate new project number 55, police station improvements, to be used for interior and exterior improvements, including dispatch, communications, security fencing, etc., in the amount of $171,468. To de-obligate project number 2, virtual meeting retrofit, $500. To obligate project number 51, agenda management software, $500. To de-obligate project number 6, iPad loaners, $7. Project number 36, human services refrigerator, $1. Project number 52, legal services, $5,562.50. To obligate project number 31, San Souci appraisal, $5,562.50. And to table the obligation of the new project number 55's police station improvements in the amount of $15,893.
Can I get a second?
Second, just a question, I'll second it and then discussion. We were gonna obligate 181 for the police and you made it 171?
Yes.
That's for the other,
Yes.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Authorization for signature, discussion, and interaction. Community Learning Center Program Support Grant, Harmony Library Memo, and agreement attached to town council members from Karen Scott, Town Planner. Date November 12, 2024, Municipal Community Learning Center Programming Support Grant Funds through the Pandemic Recovery Office. The state has made federal funds available through the Municipal Community Learning Center Program. The program authorizes recipients to use funds for critical capital projects that directly enable work, education, and health monitoring in response to the COVID-19 public health emergency. The town is currently in an MOA with the Harmony and Manton libraries for just over $1 million in capital improvement funds for those buildings. In addition to the capital project funds, the Pandemic Recovery Office is also providing community learning center programs support grants. These funds will be used to implement the health monitoring, work, and education program that will take place in the libraries. Each library will receive at least $90,881.82 in no-match grant funds. I'm requesting authorization for the town council president to sign the attached grant agreements, one for each library, that will allow the town to receive these funds and pass them along to the libraries and a memo. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion to authorize the town council president to sign the grant agreement entitled American Rescue Plan Act, State Fiscal Recovery Fund, Community Learning Center Programming Support, dated November 2024, between the town of Glocester and the RI Pandemic Recovery Office for Capital Projects Fund Project, Harmony Library Community Edition.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 2, Community Learning Center Program Support Grant, Gloucester Manton Library, memo and agreement attached. Second grant agreement requested by the planner. Can I get a motion?
Motion to authorize the town council president to sign the grant agreement entitled American Rescue Plan Act, State Fiscal Recovery Fund, Community Learning Center Programming Support, dated November 2024, between the town of Gloucester and the Rhode Island Pandemic Recovery Office for the Capital Projects Fund Project, Community Room and Meeting Rooms renovation.
Okay, a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. 3, Certified Local Government Annual Report. Council has received a request from the town planner. 2, town council members from Karen Scott, Town Planner, November 12, 2024. Read Certified Local Government Annual Report. Each year, the town must submit an annual report of all activities of the Historic District Commission to the Rhode Island Historical Preservation and Heritage Commission to maintain its status as a certified local government. Status as a certified local government ensures that the town remains eligible for grants and other programs which can benefit our local historic district, Chapachi Village. I'm requesting authorization for the town council to sign the annual report. Thank you for your consideration. Can I please get a motion?
Motion to authorize the town council president to sign the Rhode Island Historical Preservation and Heritage Commission Certified Local Government Annual Report Form, the reporting period of October 1, 2023 to September 30, 2024.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Number 4, letter of support, Verizon Fios broadband expansion. Gloucester, the town, has been asking for a following by Verizon New England, Inc. Verizon New England, Inc. Verizon plans to propose a broadband infrastructure project in Gloucester pursuant to the Rhode Island Commerce Corporation, Commerce, Rhode Island. Broadband infrastructure projects, RFP, to facilitate broadband access for unserved and underserved residents and businesses. For consideration, Commerce RI requests that providers obtain letters of support from the municipal leaders of the community they propose to build out. Therefore, council agrees we need to authorize a letter of support.
I'll make a motion to authorize the town council president to sign a letter of support regarding Verizon Fios broadband expansion proposed to facilitate broadband access for unserved and underserved residents and businesses.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number E, relocation of donated trolley. I think we're just gonna push this right to the next meeting. I'm only kidding.
You might have got hurt. You got throw something at you.
We got a Super Bowl on Sunday. She was gonna put me up in the bleachers.
So, you know, I put this on the agenda. Obviously, we've all been talking about this for a great deal of time. And, you know, it's a tricky one because I think everybody here wants to preserve it. I think everyone here sees an opportunity to do something really cool. And you know, in a perfect world, the kids are involved and you know, it's, you know, maybe there's a grant out there. It's, you know, it's not like anything's gonna start right away. Obviously, these things cost money. So there's been a lot of different plans, and we've been kicking this one around for a while. And I believe at one point it was folks were trying to find a good spot for it on the school property, at any school property at the region. And then I spoke with our director of our DPW, and it sounds like maybe there wasn't a great spot for that to go, so there was talk about it going over to the town property on Adelaide as a holding place until the school has a home for it. You know, so there's all that. Obviously, the council, there's a lot more that comes to the story. Who owns the thing? Are we storing a private citizen and property owner in Gloucester's, you know, trolley on town property? What's that look like for liability? Who owns it? La-da-da-da-da-da. So there's a whole bunch to break down. And again, I think everybody's end goal is to try and preserve it and do something really special with it down the road. So I put it on for discussion.
I thought he gave it to us.
No.
That is not in our possession, and we don't legally own it, although I think he'd happily sign a piece of paper to say here to somebody, whether it be, you know, whether it be the school department or the town of Gloucester or whatnot. So we just, I just wanted to put it on, let's talk about it. Is there a good plan? Are there other levers that need to be pulled? All that kind of thing. So, Gary, I know that you've spoken with some folks at the school about it and potential landing places, etc. So.
I met with Mr. Grass and Mr. Essex today. We looked at a spot behind the middle school on a location that I think will work. So if anybody has any problems with that, now we'll discuss it. If not, we can just make it happen.
Okay.
Well, who's moving
Renee, are you okay with that?
Who's moving it?
Alice.
Mr. Constantino's gonna move it. I have to set up some little pads for the 6 piers that are gonna hold the building up underneath the steel beams. It's not a big deal.
What's the cost of that?
Stuff I have in the yard.
Okay.
And all the dunnage that is on now is going with it.
It's coming with it, so I just gotta make, because it's in a parking area that has a slight slope, I just have to level off so that when we set it, it's set flat.
Why are we doing it? To Aren't the movers gonna do it?
No. They're gonna provide the crane, they're gonna provide the truck to get it there, and he's gonna set up the 6 piers for it to sit on. So once those are set, they swing it over, drop it on, that's it, we walk away.
And there's a donation by Inland Marine, they're gonna wrap it for free.
So we can just make this all happen, and when the decision comes with the school department, if something comes along, it's there, and they can work on it, do whatever they wanna do to it. So, I think it's the best of all things, and, behind the school.
Thanks, I'm excited to hear the game plan. You know, there's no perfect or ideal outcome short of it going into a heated wood shop at the school for the kids, but I think to me that makes a lot of sense, and I'm excited to hear that that's a potential plan. I understand that the town would be contributing time with their labor to set it down, and it's great to hear that we already have the materials that it needs to sit on, and you know, I personally am very comfortable with that. I think this is a community together on this one, and it's a no-brainer in my personal
Well, I think it's
opinion.
also good for the future if they have a pathway that they create up at the region for, you know, for reconstruction or something. It's great for the kids to work on. They'll have that base project to start with.
It's minimal
And-
labor too on our end.
And it can go for years.
Me and another guy just set it up and make sure it's set to go, so when that crane comes, it just drops it and we walk away.
I don't even know that we need to make a motion,
No, I don't think we
because
do.
it doesn't involve town council business per se at this
Well,
point, but,
It
well, it does, our
involve
DPW.
DPW
Yeah.
and our resources, our region property. So I'll make a motion to authorize the town DPW to do what's necessary for the relocation of the trolley car at the Huntington Middle School.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Renee, did you wanna say something?
Well, yes.
You're here all night.
You're here all night.
I appreciate the outreach that came last spring. There is an excitement, as you said, if we can restore this and bring it back to the life that it had. There are many, 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 many steps that have to happen before that. Gary, Steve, and I met with Mr. Constantino last spring, first did a walk around. And there is a company in Connecticut that does this for a living. They restore trolleys. Our hope is to reach out to them. I will be leaning on some of you for some support to assist us in the direction to start the work before our students can get hands-on. There definitely some work that needs to be done from experts. We're excited if this project can happen, and right now we feel like we can put it at the middle school, and we appreciate Inland Marina, and we appreciate you reaching out to have it shrink wrap so that it's not just sitting out in the elements. Mr. Constantino has housed it for quite some time to ensure that it could stay in the condition that it's in. So we appreciate your support, and if we can make this happen.
I asked them for a quote. They said they would like to do it for the school and the kids.
Well, we
So,
thank them for that.
Yeah,
Nice donation.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Did you guys vote?
We did,
Yeah,
yes.
Just making sure.
Thank you. All right, F, candlelight shopping funding discussion interaction. Charlie is requesting a conversation regarding town support for police detail during the candlelight shopping in 2024. Last year's motion was made by Walt, of no more than $300 from the town council contingency to fund the police detail for the 23 candlelight shopping.
Coming fast, huh, Charlie?
It is. Every year it comes faster and faster. The older I get.
So how many nights this year?
3 nights.
3? So you're asking for us for one?
One.
Yeah, okay. We've done that forever, since the inception. So,
Usually the chief usually does one for me. Chief?
he
fell asleep.
No, I didn't have his hearing aid in.
covering one of those?
Yeah, we'll take care of it. That's
Thank
it,
you.
Charlie. You don't even have to ask me.
I know, but thank you very much.
So, and Chief, what would, up to 300 cover a shift?
It's gonna be a little over 300.
Alright, so 350, say up to 350?
About 360.
Alright,
It's a
so,
4-hour detail.
so I'll make a motion to authorize the expenditure of, up to $375 out of the council contingency for, a shift of
Police detail for,
2024 candlelight shopping.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
thank you very much. I look
Thank
forward
you.
to it. Thank
We
you.
look forward to it.
Let's have some great weather and, you
That's
know,
what I'm
kids
hoping
singing.
for.
Well,
That's it. Exactly.
Thanks for all you do
very much.
for that event, Charlie.
Thank you for your time.
Personnel, resignation, discussion, interaction, police department, one-time dispatcher, council has received a memo from the chief for the resignation of an appointment in the next item. 2 honorable town council members from Chief Del Pre. Date November 13, 2024, subject police department part-time dispatcher resignation and police department part-time dispatcher appointment. Dear council members, I would respectfully request that the honorable town council accept the resignation of part-time dispatcher Thomas DeTora effective November 15, 2024. Thomas DeTora was a part-time dispatcher the past 5 months and did an excellent job and needed to resign for personal reasons. I would respectfully request to appoint Megan Anderson, age 23, of Cranston, to be part-time position. Megan Anderson has minimal experience and will need to be in a training period for 3 months at $14 an hour. Once she successfully completes the training, she'll be awarded part-time hourly rate at $24 per hour, not to exceed 24 hours per week. There will be no fringe benefits, and this position will be effective on Sunday, November 17th, 2024. Excuse me. Passed it all on. Ms. Anderson will fill the vacancy of part-time dispatcher Thomas DeTora. She successfully completed police department criminal history and background investigation. Respectfully submitted, Joseph Del Pre, Chief of Police. First, we need a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Thomas DeTora with thanks from the position of police department part-time dispatcher effective November 15th, 2024.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Appointment, discussion, interaction, police department, one-time dispatcher per chief's recommendation. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint Megan Anderson to the police department part-time dispatcher position. During her 3-month training period, the salary will be $14 per hour. Upon completion of the training the salary will be at an hourly rate of $24, not to exceed 24 hours per week. Said position is contingent upon a successful police department criminal history and background investigation and offers no fringe benefits. The appointment is effective on November 17th, 2024.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Public Works driver laborer position, council received a request for appointment from the DPW director. November 1st, 2024, to Honorable Town Council from Gary Tremmel, Public Works Director, driver laborer 1 position appointment request. The driver laborer 1 position was advertised in the Bargain Buyer and on the town website from July 17, 24 to July 26, 24. We received 6 applications. Of the 6, we interviewed 3 applicants. 1 applicant was offered the position but declined. The next applicant was chosen and accepted the position. He has experience driving trucks with trailers and all landscape equipment. He holds a driver's license with no restrictions or violations. He passed the BCI in his pre-employment placement physical. He will be a great asset to the department. I'm requesting that Wayne E. Tucker be appointed to driver labor position 1 effective November 4th, 2024 at the rate of $28.27 per the NAGE union contract. Respectfully submitted, Gary Tremmel. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to appoint Wayne E. Tucker to the position of DPW driver laborer 1 at the rate of $28.27 per hour. Said position is an age union position and is effective November 4, 2024.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
H, ratification, memorandum of understanding, discussion or action, statewide computer-aided dispatch and records management system between Rhode Island Department of Public Safety and Gloucester Police Department. The chief has signed a memorandum of understanding between RI Department of Public Safety and the Gloucester Police Department due to time constraints. The chief explained that the MOU as follows. The police department's statewide records management changes has been in the works for 5 years to improve interoperability. Interoperability. Wow, gonna have to learn that one. By the state to facilitate the project and is now moving forward. The police department is in the second tier of the statewide project transition, which will take place next late spring, early summer. RISP attorneys have vetted the MOU and the RISP and will be hosting the service for private statewide project. Once again, there will be funding component to this for the police department, and all RILE agencies are involved in participating. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to ratify the MOU dated September 2024 for a statewide computer-aided dispatch and records management system between Rhode Island Department of Public Safety and Gloucester Police Department.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
X, legislative updates, discussion or interaction. Anybody have any legislative news?
I don't have any new, but they're not in session, so they can't make any more of a mess for us, I guess.
Yeah. Hopefully we can have fun starting January 1st. Town council correspondence. We have a request from a gentleman that would like to walk the town property at 1272 Putnam Pike with a metal detector. Only if I can go first.
Well, that's the question.
Isn't that a
right?
dangerous area though too, with that building there?
Well, it's not just that, but, you know, it's public area, so if that person finds something, are they legally bound to keep it as public property? They have to hand it, they can go, I guess, but can they keep that? I don't know. I'm sure this happens in other communities. I don't know how it works.
Again, if somebody's gonna go on public land, we have them sign a release, right, in case they get hurt, that's what we normally do. As far as if they go out there searching, if you wanna authorize, you know, finders keepers, or you wanna tell them if he finds something of value to turn it over to the town, we'd have to kinda.
Yeah, well, if he finds a treasure chest full of gold there.
Right. All that money that's been hidden.
You don't really, again, if you're not worried, I mean, if you're really not worried about something of value on there, I guess, you know.
My biggest concern is, you know,
He's not gonna go into the house, right, he's not gonna go near the house, it's just gonna go on property.
I mean, what would we do if somebody was metal detecting in the front of town hall? I mean, I don't.
We've had that
I
happen.
mean, you can walk on town property.
You can walk on town property, that's what I'm saying, maybe you can't dig on town property?
I mean, technically speaking, if somebody were to find something valuable on town property, I guess it would belong to the town.
Gary,
I mean, I guess you'd make a claim.
is there any treasures on that property?
Not yet.
I just say have them sign a release.
There'll be so many nails over there.
No.
Belt buckles
Sign a
and.
release.
I bet you Gary has a lot more to say right now too, but he'll just leave it at no.
And just have the person sign a release and, you know, and not go into
Any of the buildings,
any of the buildings.
and not dig any.
The buildings are boarded up, are the buildings boarded?
Well, yeah, they have to.
Okay, then we wanna make sure that they don't go in.
I mean, do we want people digging holes
Well,
though?
that's what he told me that he wouldn't dig holes, he'd patch it up. I could trust him, he does it all over the place,
Is it a town resident?
Smithfield.
We can't act on it.
We can't act on it anyway, I don't know.
Okay, let's think about it.
Another thing to think about is the vision for that property. What needs to happen over there next. But I'll leave it at that.
Next, we have an invitation for council to attend Wreaths Across America. I'm planning on going.
Is that your answer to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go,
Yes.
I'll go,
What day is it? That's a Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
December
Yeah.
10th.
Yeah, I'll be.
Everybody, huh?
The whole,
You'll have to post it as a public.
Public
possible-
meeting, yeah. They want me to play guitar and sing.
I won't talk to anybody.
Don't sit next to me.
All you just can't talk about anything that we could possibly vote on. That's how it works.
That's right.
It's a very special event. I'm
Yeah,
looking
that's-
forward to
yes,
that. It's a
amazing.
tearjerker, frankly.
Letter received from the staff, Traffic Commission notifying the town of a traffic study request on Route 4 near Inland Marine being placed on the agenda for discussion. Okay.
Okay.
Department heads, any department heads?
2 made it.
Hardcore.
Just have one quick thing. So, you know, we've been working on a public water feasibility study for Patchett. It's been ongoing for about a year or so now, and we are just about finalizing the document. And I'm wondering if you would be open to having a presentation from our consultant at your January 16th meeting to kind of overview the findings and recommendations.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds great to me, Karen.
Yeah, I'm excited for you
Make
guys to
it
hear.
a 9-hour meeting.
Stevie sits next to
He'll be in the crowd.
He wants to work on that presentation with you?
I'll be sure to call you and issue a personal invite.
Yes.
He's good with PowerPoint, I hear.
All right, sounds good, thanks.
So congratulations, everybody, for getting reelected.
Thank you, and you as well.
Except for you.
Great job.
Except for you.
Except for you.
Yeah,
Except for you.
congratulations to everyone here as well as Stephanie Cleese.
Boards and commissions,
And John,
open
Oh,
forum.
John, I didn't even,
Yeah, John, congratulations.
he's
congratulations.
a department,
Oh,
head.
yeah?
Made it to the end too, I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Did you have anything, Ben?
I'm sorry?
Did you have anything, department heads?
Yeah.
You're about to fill your closet. Hope you got room in there.
Did you bring it?
John Lowe's Human Services. We just had our annual police, fill the police car, food drive at Dino's Market. I wanna thank, Chief left, I wanna thank Chief Delpreet and, Captain Fag, as well as, Counselor, Greathouse, John, and, Walter. I wanna thank you guys too for showing up and donating also, that was great, I appreciate that. We got the new refrigerator in, you know, with the ARPA funds, that's great, it looks good, and so it's working fine. We filled up everything, we got our food, it's not gonna last long, obviously, because we go through so much of it, but, we had a lot of people right in this room here. Charlie, he doesn't like me to do this, but I'm calling him out, he gave a huge donation, monetary and food stuff, he's really showed up. A lot of people in this room tonight that was here earlier, also stepped up and, donated a lot of stuff, and, I just wanna say how much I appreciate everybody's efforts, and, y'all feel good, give yourselves a pat on the back, because, it's a community effort, you know, so.
Excellent. Thank you,
Awesome.
John.
Great, thank you, John, thank you, Charlie, thank you, everybody who donated and continues to donate.
Open forum,
Gary, are we still on for Monday? Thank you.
open forum. I'd like to say something. Pano is going to the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
On Sunday, the game's at 3 o'clock. Get your tickets now.
Well, I think our chief and logo won that problem.
And our,
Oh,
our
that's
chief
good
and
one.
logo one. Yep.
Like to see that.
On Tuesday, my JV Pano football team will be playing in the Chicken Bowl. I'm very proud of that. I'm actually undefeated as the head coach. And then varsity has the Turkey Bowl on Thanksgiving morning, both at home. So Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and then first thing Thanksgiving. I wish everybody a blessed Thanksgiving.
10 o'clock on Thanksgiving.
10 o'clock on Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Any action on the game?
Any action on the game?
Yeah,
No.
I did have one other thing to say too, so congratulations, Pontiac. They haven't won it yet, but I feel confident they're gonna
We got a great
do
team.
the best they can. I wanted to thank Jeannie and Christine and everybody else who was involved, Melissa, who put on another wonderful veterans event. That was Veterans Day. Thank you. That's an important event in town, and they've done a wonderful job over the years and continuing that
Now we
tradition.
have Boy Scouts. There's more balls in the air, but it's getting better.
Literally.
Well, I have 3 boys.
Me too.
Who's making the motion tonight, Walt?
anybody for open forum?
Anybody wanna talk about anything?
Yeah, it's not even 11.
Stay the night.
Alright, so I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Great job, everybody.
Good job.
You got through that agenda pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a much longer night.
Much longer.